Hey, how's it going? I'm Will Ripley, and I've got a two-in-one video here for you today. What we're gonna talk about is how to build a pedal board. So maybe your pedal board's looking something like this, where it's just a plank of wood with some pedals slapped on it. It's not solid enough to even really take out of the house. It becomes more of a problem board rather than a rock-solid pedal board. Okay, and part two of today's video is I'm gonna go all in with RockBoard by Warwick. So here was my process. I'm literally flipping through a Guitar World magazine, and I land on this ad, and I see this module on the front and these flat patch cables and just these super tight looking pedal boards. I've been working on a pedal train for a little while now, and it's okay, but I just knew that it could be better. I knew it could be smaller, tighter, and more like a faster setup. And so once I saw that module and the flat patch cables and those tight looking pedal boards in those ads, I was totally hooked, and I guess advertising works. So I've decided to go all in with RockBoard. I'm gonna get the cables, the flat patch cables, the board. I'm gonna put everything together and document the process of how everything goes. Simultaneously, hopefully you pick up some good tips on how you can build a pro solid RockBoard. So let's hop into it, here we go. Hey, I've got a super simple method to figure out the right size of pedal board that you need before you go out and buy it. Because of course, we don't want anything too small, we don't want anything too big, we want something just right. All I did is I just went over to rockboard.net and I was kind of debating between a couple sizes. So I just got the measurements and used a tape measure to lay down some painter's tape. So I used painter tape because it's cheap, it's easy to use, it won't leave any residue, stickiness on your carpet or on a wood floor or whatever. So quite simply, this guy is gonna be the cinque 5.2, and then this guy right here is representing the quad 4.2. So those are the two sizes that I was personally debating between. So these are all the pedals that I wanna have on my board. As you can see, there's plenty of room. Like, these aren't cramped together because I don't really like that. So say for instance, like if you get a giant pedal like this, it's nice to be able to have just a little bit more flexibility with the room. And of course you're gonna want to have a little bit of space for cabling and power and stuff like that. As you can see, this is definitely like very spacious. All my pedals totally will fit on this board easily. Painter's tape, tape measure, just head over to rockboard.net, grab the dimensions. They offer like 7 different pedal board sizes. I've decided on the cinque 5.2. Think it's ready to go pick that up and start putting this pedal board together. All right, so there's been some exciting developments in my pedalboard build. It looks like it had a good case, and the module insert here is a big one for me, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Because it's already out. I've got it over on the ironing board next door, and we'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, my first impression is that the padding is very good. It's not quite as thick as like a Friedman case or a mono case, but it's certainly thicker and more protective than a pedal train one. And so that was another big reason for me in choosing the RockBoard. You could just kind of tell from the pictures that it was a little more sturdy, and sure enough, it is. So yeah, it's almost to that Friedman and mono case kind of style, but those ones are definitely like pretty darn rugged. But yeah, this I know I'm gonna be fine with this, and this is gonna get me gigging all over the city, and I can probably even do some out-of-town gigs with this. Now, here's the thing. I'm unveiling the problem board. Now, look at that mess of stuff. Sold my old pedal board, my pedal train, so I could downsize. So, I just got this plank of wood here. A lot of these pedals have Velcro on them already, and so that's all good. But yeah, like check this out. I can see a cable that's already popped out right here. Like, we want to make our pedal boards basically rock solid so that we're not going to have any kind of problems with them coming up in the future, right? So I want to be able to bring this out to jams, bring it out to gigs, and just have a rock solid RockBoard that's going to get me through everything that I need. Of course, I'm just slapping everything together so I can just do some jams and just get my pedals running while I'm kind of in between pedal boards. I just wanted to show you where things are at, and let's go ahead and go next door where we're gonna start assembling everything. The very first thing is I'm gonna take this pedal power supply, and we got a universal setup where I can hook this Voodoo Labs Pedal Power 2 Plus up into the Warwick RockBoard, and they've got what they call the tray. And so that's gonna be my first thing, but I wanted to show you where things are at right now and where they're about to go. I've gone ahead and installed the Velcro myself, and this module here at the front, and then also
installed the power supply in the back, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about these, some of the tools that you guys will need and all that kind of stuff. So the big thing is the Velcro. Okay, so you can see that I decided to go for this, I believe it's 1 inch thick, whereas normally I have this 2-inch strip. And PS, the RockBoard, these guys are pretty generous with what they supply. They give you zip ties and they give you a lot of Velcro. So they included this Velcro, and I was a little bit confused because I was really kind of planning on going with this stuff. But the problem is then you would be covering a set of these holes and then leaving some open, which is maybe not a problem. They included this 1-inch tape, and as you can see, it just fits perfectly in between all these holes. So I decided to go for that, and fingers crossed, I hope that this is gonna be enough Velcro to just really secure everything in place. But I think that there should be enough Velcro coverage for the pedals. And yeah, this module is super easy to install, just a couple of bolts. And then we've just really got the ins and outs. So I'm ready to start wiring in my effects loop. So really what it's gonna look like is in, out, effects send, effects return, and my foot switch. And then for acoustic gigs and stuff like that, I might include my DI. And of course the power for the power supply. So it's gonna be really cool, and stick with me here because we're gonna be running a cable snake all the way to here with everything that we need, and everything is gonna be wired underneath here for some optimal pedalboard performance. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Now, as mentioned, a little bit concerned about the 1-inch Velcro that I've used. Fingers crossed that that's gonna go all right. This was also a little bit strange for me because on the pedal trains, they have an actual mounting system for your power supply. However, you need a drill, you need to drill holes, and you know, there's some assembly required. So what's cool about the Warwick stuff, this new RockBoard, is they've got what they call the tray. So it just came like this, and there's no drilling, no anything like that necessary to get this thing installed. And sure enough, it worked. Also, I'm just kind of wondering about the rivets, you know, wondering if it's gonna be a solid enough rig, but you know, sure enough, we put this rig in, and like, I don't know, it seems totally solid. So yeah, so the tray, the RockBoard, it's looking good. And so I think that we're pretty much ready to go ahead and wire this thing up and start putting pedals onto it. So why don't we go ahead and do that, and let's start ripping it up. Okay, so we got the Velcro installed, we have the power supply installed, we have the RockBoard module here, so we're almost ready to rock. I'm gonna start sticking these pedals on. I honestly don't know how it's gonna turn out. Although I've used these pedals on a different pedal board, you know, I've switched over to RockBoard. I've got plans to use this module here, so it's gonna be a much more organized and effective state of my pedal board, so I'm looking forward to it. And so I'm just gonna start scattering these pedals around in what I think is gonna be the best fit, but I know that probably what's gonna happen, and what's gonna happen for you too, is you lay out your pedal board and you realize, oh shit, that doesn't actually work that well, and you might have to switch some things around. So just keep that in mind, and it's always handy when you have that problem board, you know, when you're just scattering pedals around. That's actually a really important stage in building a pedal board, because then you figure out what pedals you like, what pedals you don't like, what pedal sequence and order you like, and what works best for you and your amp and the tones you're trying to achieve. So like I mentioned, I had all this stuff on a pedal train, so I roughly know the sequence of events in the signal chain here. So let's just start slapping it together and see what happens. All right, here we are with the finished product. Now, full disclaimer, you know that last scene you just watched? It's like fast forward with the nice music and putting everything together, and then now look at it, okay? But again, full disclaimer, it didn't actually happen that way. I stuck all my pedals together. I went and did a couple of gigs with them, found out I needed to do a full rebuild, tore the whole thing apart, put it all back together, and then I finally got it to this level. And now, even now, I want to put my wah pedal over here, and I want to shift this whole area of the pedal board over, okay? So my point is that when you're building a pedal board, this is probably like a very normal part of building a pedal board, is having to rebuild and reposition and all that kind of stuff. What I love about the RockBoard is that it's making that process a lot easier with the flat patch cables and just the whole setup with the module and everything like that. And I can tell you from the gigging that I've done 3 or 4 shows with this rig so far, and I can roll into the gig, pull this pedal board out. I've got my handy dandy cable snake now, where I just reel all this stuff up into the module. I'm able to set up super quickly. So as you can imagine, that's awesome. And it's just super rock solid. I think what the guys at RockBoard are doing are really innovative, and definitely, you know, it's not like they're reinventing the wheel in terms of pedal boards. I mean, pedal boards have been around forever, but they're definitely offering us guitar players things that we need, like these flat patch cables in the module, and stuff like that even exists out there. However, RockBoard's making it available to everybody everywhere. And so that's why I hopped on it. And furthermore, about the flat patch cables, they were able to fit into this cable snake just so nicely. I had a cable snake before with like normal sized cables, and squeezing 5 cables through this Tech Flex. Actually, shout out to Pedal Python. Definitely check them out for your cable snake needs. Yeah, it was pretty chunky to fit in through the Tech Flex. But yeah, now with these flat patch cables, I'm able to get a more manageable pedal snake. I'm just really stoked on having all this stuff available just as a guitar player guy, okay? So definitely check out RockBoard. Go to rockboard.net and check out all the stuff that they have to offer. And it's so cool. They've just got a huge amount of awesome pedalboard stuff for us guitar players. So let me know what you think about the RockBoard, about the Pedalboard Build, about this video, and let me know about your pedalboard plans. Let's definitely get the conversation rolling here. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'm definitely really pumped on my new board. So let me know what you think. And until the next video, keep on ripping it up.